Welcome to a journey through the mystical realm of the ancient Egyptians. A realm where the soul was believed to be the essence of life, and where death was only the beginning of a new journey. A journey that would lead the soul to the afterlife, to the realm of the gods, and to eternity. The ancient Egyptians had a complex understanding of the soul and believed that it was divided into 9 different parts. Each part had its own unique function, and together they made up the essence of an individual. The Book of the Dead, an ancient funerary text, holds the key to unlocking the secrets of these beliefs. It contains spells and incantations, meant to guide and protect the soul on its journey through the afterlife. It is a window into the world of the ancient Egyptians, a world where the soul was believed to be immortal and where death was not an end, but a new beginning. Khat, the body. The Khat, also known as the physical body, was considered a sacred vessel, housing the rest of the soul during life on earth. The ancient Egyptians believed that the preservation of the physical body was crucial in ensuring the survival of the soul in the afterlife. And so, they developed the practice of mummification, a ritual that involved preserving the body through a process of embalming and wrapping. The Khat was also believed to be able to receive offerings after death, as a means of providing for the soul in the afterlife. Offerings of food and drink were left at the tomb, so the soul could supernaturally absorb the benefits and nutrients from them. The body was a link to the essence of the person who had once inhabited it, a concept that was deeply ingrained in ancient Egyptian culture. Ba, the personality. The Ba, often depicted as a bird with a human head, was considered the closest thing the ancient Egyptians had to a modern idea of the soul. It represented all the unique elements of a person, their personality, and their individuality. It was believed to be capable of moving between the mortal and spiritual realms, visiting the gods in the afterlife, and returning to the physical world to visit places that the person loved during their lifetime. This maintained a connection between the physical and spiritual realms, and between the living and the dead. It was also believed that the Ba would travel between the 2 realms while a person was still alive and that the journey would increase significantly after death. This concept of a soul that can move between realms is a fascinating aspect of ancient Egyptian beliefs about the soul. It reflects the idea that death is not the end, but rather the beginning of a new journey for the soul. Ren, the true name. The Ren, also known as the true name, was considered one of the most powerful and important parts of the soul. It was given to an individual at birth and kept secret from everyone but the gods. The ancient Egyptians believed that the knowledge of a person's true name gave one power over that person's soul and that it could even be used to destroy a person permanently. That is why Ren was kept secret throughout an individual's life. The person was known by a nickname instead so that no one would be able to learn their true Ren and gain the powers it contained. As long as the Ren still existed, the soul had the power to keep on surviving. This is why the preservation of the Ren was so important in the afterlife, as the soul could not survive without it. The Ren is a powerful symbol of the soul's self, and the idea of losing one's Ren has been used as a plotline in stories for generations. Ka, the life force. The Ka, also known as the life force, was considered the energy or essence that gave life to the physical body. It was responsible for maintaining the physical body and ensuring survival. The Ka was believed to be immortal and to continue on in the afterlife. To ensure the survival of the Ka in the afterlife, the ancient Egyptians believed it was necessary to provide for it. Offerings of food and drink were left at the tomb to nourish the Ka, and rituals were performed to sustain it. These rituals are described in the Book of the Dead, an ancient funerary text that holds the key to understanding the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about the afterlife. The Ka is an important concept in ancient Egyptian beliefs about the soul, reflecting the idea that life is not just about the physical body, but also about the energy that animates it. Shuyet, the shadow. The Shuyet, also known as the shadow, was considered the physical manifestation of the soul. It was visible as a person's shadow and was believed to have the power to protect the individual from harm. The ancient Egyptians believed that the Shuyet could be used to represent the person in the afterlife and that it could still be called upon to protect the individual even after death. It was also believed that the Shuyet could be used to connect the physical and spiritual realms. The shadow was considered a powerful symbol of the soul's presence and was believed to have a life of its own. It was associated with the soul's ability to persist and continue on after death, reflecting the idea of an afterlife where the soul's essence lives on. JB, the heart. The JB, also known as the heart, was considered the center of emotion and intellect in the ancient Egyptian belief system. It was considered one of the most important parts of the soul and was associated with the soul's ability to feel and think. In the afterlife, the heart was believed to be weighed against the feather of truth in the judgment of the dead, as described in the Book of the Dead. If the heart was found to be lighter than the feather, it meant the individual had led a virtuous life, and they would be granted access to the afterlife. If the heart was found to be heavier, it meant the individual had led a wicked life, and they would be denied access to the afterlife. The heart was also believed to have the power to give life to the body and was considered the source of life. The importance of the heart in ancient Egyptian beliefs about the soul reflects the idea that the soul is not just about the afterlife, but also about the emotions and intellect that make life worth living. Akh, the spirit. The Akh, also known as the spirit, was considered the higher self of the individual, responsible for their ability to think and reason. It was believed to be immortal and would live on in the afterlife, just like the Kansas. The Akh was considered the most refined and elevated part of the soul, reflecting the idea that the soul is not just about the physical body or the emotions, but also about the intellect and higher self. It was believed that the Akh had the ability to transcend the physical world and reach a state of enlightenment, where it would be united with the divine. The Akh was associated with the soul's ability to transcend the physical realm and achieve a higher state of being, reflecting the idea that the soul is not just about the present life, but also about the possibility of a higher existence. Sahu and Sechem, the spiritual and physical double. The Sahu, also known as the spiritual double, was considered the spiritual form of the individual and responsible for their ability to understand and have knowledge. It was believed to be immortal and would live on in the afterlife, just like the Akh and the Kansas. The Sechem, also known as the physical double, was the physical form of the individual that would live on in the afterlife. It would be transformed into the Akh after death, through the process of transfiguration. The Sahu and Sechem were considered two complementary parts of the soul, representing the spiritual and physical aspects of the individual. Together, they reflected the idea that the soul is not just about the physical body or the emotions, but also about the intellect and higher self. The concept of the spiritual and physical double is a unique aspect of ancient Egyptian beliefs about the soul, reflecting the idea that the soul is not just about the present life, but also about the possibility of a higher existence. This concludes our journey through the mystical realm of the ancient Egyptians, a realm where the soul was believed to be the essence of life, and where death was only the beginning of a new journey. The ancient Egyptians had a complex understanding of the soul, and their beliefs were reflected in the practice of dividing the soul into 9 different parts. Understanding these parts allows us to gain insight into the ancient Egyptian culture, religion, and beliefs in the afterlife. Thanks for watching.